Welcome into the Dug In podcast. Thank you for joining us for our first show. Thank you for being here. Just give us a follow on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Dug In Pod, DUGINPOD. This show is mostly about anything and everything. Today we're doing the Super Bowl, but usually we go over news, TV, film, do reviews for TV series or any popular item that's happening in the world today. So today we're doing a Super Bowl show. We are joined by three of my good friends. I'll let them introduce themselves and go ahead.
Peterson, aka Pusher Peterson.
And I'm Andrew McElrath. No nicknames at the moment.
And of course, I'm Adrian Lewis at Age2K6 on every social there is. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're just going to go over some quick news around the league. So today, the Raiders hired Patrick Graham from the New York Giants.
Wait, just hold on a second. When you said the league, we're not talking hockey, because I did all my notes about the All-Star game today. Like, I had a whole thing. Like, Claude Giroux did really well. It took me like 20 minutes to learn his name. That's not what we're doing today?
What is hockey?
Oh, man, this is a rough start for us. Oh, jeez. All right, Raiders, who now? Go ahead, Joe.
The Las Vegas Raiders, sorry, not Oakland, rest in peace, hired Patrick Graham from the New York Giants, their defensive coordinator. I felt like they were a really good team, but just didn't have the offense to pull them through. So losing their D coordinator is really big. I'll let you guys go ahead and go in on that. So.
I mean, I'll start here. I think with the lateral move he's making, Graham, especially being in contention for some of the OC jobs, it just shows he doesn't want to be on the Giants right now. And I think that's a really big source of contention with the whole Brian Flores story. You know, it's just not a good spot. So he's going to jump with Josh McDaniels. And the Raiders were good this year. Like, they made the playoffs. This is a great hire for McDaniels, you know, starting up brand new. So we'll see. I like it a lot for him.
Do you think it looks good that he's moved roughly, three times in 4 years, though?
It's hard to see. Like, you know, he's trying to get his position to be an OC. Like I said, he was doing some of the interviews this go round too. So, you know, you just got to find the best fit for you. I mean, Raiders over Giants at this point seems pretty obvious, even with Dabo Bona.
Yeah, it's a slam dunk. I agree.
Yeah, I just feel that's a major blow for the New York Giants. Like losing that at this point, it's a big blow. I just think that team's ready to blow up. Saquon is coming off injury, didn't look himself really. Daniel Jones is looking like a bust so far. That defense was the only thing holding them together in most of the games. They just couldn't pull through on the offensive side. So, yeah, I think they're done. I think they're going to be rebuilding after next season.
Have they said who they're going to bring in to replace Graham in New York?
I have not heard anything. So,
You figure with a new coach hired anyway, they're probably going to bring in, I'm sure Dabo is going to bring in his own defensive guy. So Graham taking that job in Las Vegas, I feel like was his big plan to stay employed.
It sounded like they assumed he was staying. Like, Dabo, texted him, and, he was supposed to be in the building. So I think this is kind of more surprising than not. But like you said, it's a new coaching staff. He can bring in who he wants now. But weird move when, you know, you get this supposedly genius head coach that did amazing things with the Bills, and now all of a sudden he's down the strength of their team.
Yep.
That's very true. How long do you think Daniel Jones has? Do you think he starts the whole year?
I mean, are they drafting anybody this year? We got to wait until after
Right.
the draft to see about that one because I feel like he's not the answer right now. Everything I've seen out of him, he's a good runner. He makes some passes. He's hit or miss with his accuracy. But in the crunch moments, do I feel like he can pull it through? No. So I would be looking for another quarterback.
He also had that neck injury that year, so we're definitely going to have to watch for that.
And a concussion. So, but yeah, moving on. Take a moment to like, subscribe, comment. If you're listening in, feel free to just drop a comment in our live chat. We'll get to the questions at the end of the show, but thanks for tuning in. Our second item, 49ers hiring Anthony Lynn. I felt like he should have been a head coach. I liked him in San Diego, LA Chargers. I felt like he did a great job with what he had. He just needed just a little bit more to push him over the top. And you can see the Chargers now are still in the same borderline playoff team that they were under him. So I felt like he did a great job and he could potentially get a head coaching job somewhere. But he took a defensive coordinator for the 49ers, and it seems like they're trying to piece back together some key items to take them back to the Super Bowl. What do you guys think?
Niners fans are pumped right now. That's what they think.
Absolutely. Did you say defense coordinator or offensive coordinator?
Sorry, yes, offensive coordinator.
Well, right now, and that's the part that kind of drove me. So I know we all kind of have our allegiances here too. I'm sadly a Dolphins fan. So I think this hire kind of signals what the Dolphins are at least planning to do with McDaniel, since he's been kind of one of the hotter candidates coming out. This is setting up Lynn to take over that offensive coordinator job because I think it's just assistant coach right now. So they're clearly keeping him in the building. He has a relationship with Shanahan, which is good too. I think, again, like you said, yeah, he probably should have been a head coach. He definitely should have had more time in San Diego. They don't look any better this year. If not, they took a step back, because they made the playoffs he made the playoffs with them, right? At least one year.
Yeah, I think he went, if I'm not mistaken, I think he went 13-3 with them one year. I could be totally wrong. I'd have to look that up. The crazy thing about that is he got fired after Herbert got Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they were definitely, I mean, he had his quarterback there. They were about to turn that thing around.
So his
and
records.
Then the point that you also made, sorry to cut you off, but
Go ahead.
if they hired him in San Francisco, that definitely is probably insurance for McDaniels probably getting a job here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, so his records in LA or San Diego.
No, LA, you were right. I think I said San Diego. We're just going to call every team that's moved. Like, you ready? We'll talk about the Titans and call them the Houston Oilers in a bit here, too. Like, we're going to just throw back to all the old names.
Yeah, so his record is 9-7, 12-4, 5-11, 7-9. So, he had that 12-4 year in 2018. It's just hard to have a coach like that at that caliber when he clearly lost Derwin James those last 2 years and lost a lot of players to injury. I mean, it happens to everyone, but
Rivers leaves the building for a rookie quarterback, and then, as Will just said, who won Rookie of the Year? It's not like Herbert's bad, but you have to give him more time than his first year. 7-9, I would have loved the Tua-led Dolphins to be 7-9 in his first season. Obviously, he was hurt and he didn't play the whole
7-9.
time. Right, yeah, you're all Jags fans. Wouldn't 7-9 be great? That's
what
an
is
extension
that?
waiting to happen.
If the Jaguars go 7-9, I'm spraying champagne all over my house.
yeah, I wish for a 7-9 season right now. It's pretty brutal watching them just be bottom tier of the entire league.
I would literally be the meme of the guy celebrating on the podium in third place.
Yeah, so it's just kind of a weird vibe going around with the coaching staffs of the NFL. We'll get to that later because it's at the end of our news line, but it's just It's just hard to take right now, the situation with the NFL. So, moving on, Aaron Rodgers, throw Rogan, bought some land in Tennessee, Franklin, Tennessee. People were speculating that he might go to the Titans because of this. Titans came out and said that they're sticking with Tannehill. I think
And
that
they
is
should.
I think that's a bad move. I think
Why?
Tannehill showed you 2 or 3 times that AFC Championship is as far as he can go. He does not have it to take them over the edge. He is hit or miss during the season, losing games that he should win. I mean, he puts up good numbers in some games, like 4 touchdowns, and then the next game he comes out, he throws for 50 yards and no touchdowns or something like that. It's very hit or miss with his QBR and his passer rating. I just think that if you have a chance to land Rodgers, if he's trying to signal, come get me, I think you go get him. So
Yeah, but they can't though. They're negative $7 million in the cap next year, 6 and change, whatever. Tannehill's a $38 million cap hit. How do you get rid of him? You can't do it, and you're not going to bring Rodgers in and have Tannehill on the bench when you already have no money. Like, it doesn't make sense. I mean, also you're selling out your future for a 39-year-old quarterback because he lives down the street. Like, we're not doing this. It's the NFL.
yeah, but we all have a window on our team. So I think the Titans' window is right now, and they can easily offload some of that dead cap space to something like New York, where they're looking for a fresh new quarterback. Or
Rodgers
they
has got
can-
some bad energy, though. I mean, like, at least the Titans, they feel like there's some camaraderie there. You know, yeah, maybe Tannehill isn't the best in all the games, but at the same time, they have other stuff going on for them. But Aaron Rodgers just comes in and is just like, well, if we lose, everyone else is terrible. But I don't know. That's not good vibes.
yeah,
Totally on my
and
site.
That does seem to be the case with Aaron Rodgers, but at the same time, it is Aaron Rodgers. I mean, 95% of the time, it probably is somebody else's fault that the Packers are losing.
It's still
I mean,
a
the
team
man-
sport at the end of the day.
It is very much a team sport, but it is also very much Aaron Rodgers. There's not too
Yeah.
many Aaron Rodgers walking around the league. And at the same time, that $38 million cap hit, they would have to have the best general manager in NFL history to finagle that money around. I don't see how they can afford Aaron Rodgers in Tennessee.
yeah, I think Green Bay fans are hoping that he stays. But, I mean, he's coming off an MVP season. I mean, we don't know if he's an MVP yet. It's pointing that way over Tom Brady. So, and I mean, if any team had the chance to sign him, I think they would go after it. We saw teams in the past offload their top tier talent to do like a 1-year all in kind of deal and try to make the Super Bowl. And I don't know off the top of my head how many of those teams worked out, but I think with Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, Julio Jones, and then Aaron Rodgers, I think that's a Super Bowl winning team.
It absolutely is, but I don't know if they have anybody else that they could offload to even get them in there.
Who's taking Tannehill? I think there's plenty of quarterback desperate teams. Like you said, he's not a winner. This is 2 franchises now that have given him a chance. I mean, he could win you games, but he's not. It's not going to close out the season. And like I said, $38 million. Who's taking that? It's not the NBA where you just offload these contracts on people for like picks and like the Oklahoma City Thunder are waiting there. Like nobody wants this like contract. It's insane.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. It's all speculation. I mean, we'll just see. I mean, after the draft, that'll be telling on. There's a June 1st trade clause in his contract, so we'll see how that goes. Next bit of news: Doug Peterson was hired by the Jacksonville Jaguars. It is very, very telling how that whole process went with the Jaguars, and the entire league needed kind of breath of fresh air at that time, and it was just a hot mess of a hire. And now Doug Peterson lands in Jacksonville. He did his first press conference, and he's side by side with Trent Baalke and Shad Khan. And Trent Baalke and Shad Khan are, not really providing any answers on the search. Everyone knows that they could have had Leftwich, a hometown hero, and they could have had someone that's up and coming, someone new, someone that's well respected by the players. And I don't want to take anything away from Doug Peterson. He's, Super Bowl winning coach. He's got good respect around the league. But in my opinion, as a Jags fan, I would have wanted Byron Leftwich. And my sole reason behind that is because he's younger. He could have stayed longer. He could have given something to that franchise to resuscitate them that Doug Peterson can't. He's been here. He knows the culture, what it was like here to go to the playoffs here, and what the city was like when we went to the playoffs. He knows all that. So I just feel like it was a huge miss on Byron Leftwich, and he had top 10 offenses the last 3 years. Doug Peterson's been on a couch last year. Last game in Philly, he threw it to the Redskins so the Giants won't make the playoffs. I just can't. I can't vibe with that. So, Ben, I'll let you go first since you're the only one that's not a Jaguars fan here. What do you think about the hire and that whole process that happened in Duval?
I was going to sit back and let y'all take this one, but I can go first. I don't think it's sexy. It's not the sexy pick at all. Like you said, Leftwich was everybody. That's who they wanted. Bring the hometown guy back. Come on, man. That's a story that writes itself. And you know what? If he's not good, whatever. You took a shot. You have a young quarterback that you're looking to bring up. Hey, why don't you bring a great Jaguars quarterback back in the building? But I think you're okay with Peterson. He won a Super Bowl. He went to the NFC Championship game multiple times. He didn't 3 winning seasons in a row. Yeah, the end was pretty bad. I'll give you that. But he ended with a winning record there. I think the results will speak for itself. But I'm sorry, he just went to the one NFC Championship game. But like I said, won the Super Bowl. I think it's a good hire. I just don't. You're not going to be happy about it. I know that for a fact. And the whole situation was awful from the outside looking in. Like, man, I wish our situation was like this. I'm sure we'll speak to the Dolphins at some point. Maybe not tonight, but my God. But it doesn't look great either.
I mean, if y'all want me to go next, I only had one drink for this reason, because if I'd have had 2, I would have took up the whole podcast. I was very, 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 very much on the Leftwich train. It made sense to everybody on planet Earth, I guess, except Trent Baalke and Shad Khan. I mean, Leftwich, I think Leftwich is 37, 38? You bring him in, he's a young OC. He has experience calling plays. You pair him with Trevor Lawrence. He brings in his guy, the rumored guy was Adrian Wilson, to be the GM over in Jacksonville. Just start over. Like, everything we have tried since Shad Khan has had this team, I'd say it's been 10, 11 years now?
10 years, I think. Yeah, 10 years.
10, 11 years, and we have one winning season, which, by the grace of God, was the AFC Championship year. So everything you've done up to this point has not worked, save for that 1 year. So why not bring in a fresh face, head coach and GM, start over with your fresh face, generational quarterback talent, and see where it goes? Now, at the same time, I think Urban Meyer kind of ruined that, because it was his first time kind of head coaching in the NFL, and we all know how that went. Absolute disaster. So I can see the hesitancy with hiring another first-time head coach in the NFL. And it's whatever. I'm going to get on the tangent. At the same time, Doug Peterson, he's a good coach. It's just not who anybody wanted. At the end of the day, it's a pretty solid hire for how the process went. I mean, the guy who won a Super Bowl in Philadelphia, their only Super Bowl, he went 7-9, Super Bowl, playoffs, and then had that dud of a year and then got fired. So it's not like he's a bad coach. And he's had a year off. kind of regather himself. And he's walking into Trevor Lawrence, the most cap space in the NFL. Something good has to happen to the Jags, and this might be the time that it happens. But until it does,
Of course, buddy. Of course it does. You're right.
Yeah, another decade of tears coming in hot.
Yeah, we'll
Really
save
quick,
that.
you mentioned. Let's say you mentioned earlier Leftwich is 42, and Adrian said Peterson's old. How old do we think Peterson is? I know the white hair kind of makes it seems like it's harder. What do we think?
Oh man, I'm going 56.
I think he's like 62. No, that'll put him in the top.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
he's
no. He's like 50,
the first
50,
number that
52,
the first
52,
number
52.
that popped in my head was 48, 49. But he played with Favre.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
He's 54. Like, I mean, it is a definite difference between the two, but like we can't be out here like, oh yeah, Peterson's super. He's not Bruce Arians like running this team out here. he's so.
Yeah, he's not Pete Carroll, oldest man in
Yeah, there you
Seattle
go.
right now.
I mean, Khan went with the boys club again, like completely disconnected, doesn't care. That's just that's just what he's given off here, and it's frustrating. It is frustrating. It's tough to be a Jaguars fan. I feel like we're beating a dead horse on this one, but maybe it's a good pick, maybe it's not. We'll see. Jaguars fans are used to disappointment. It's low hanging fruit at this point, so
Yeah, I think that hopefully he could just develop Trevor. He didn't really develop Carson Wentz. Everyone says, yeah, he was playing well. He had an MVP season, but that was just like Blake Bortles in 2017 had a great season. That doesn't mean he developed well. I want him to have consistency throughout 5,000 yards passing, 4,000 yards passing or something like that. 35 touchdowns at least. It's just...
No big deal. That's easy to do. Why not?
Well, in the Arians offense, it would have been. So
Yeah.
I felt like they dropped the ball. And it leads into our next story with Brian Flores. I felt like the NFL needed this hire. They needed a minority hire and a minority GM and bring in a VP, restart a franchise, have the minority owner show that he can hire someone different, with a fresh face, with someone that the Jaguars have never had in their franchise history. Only one interim head coach was a minority. Everyone else was a old white guy. So it leads into Brian Flores. He's suing the NFL for a lot. He clearly was fired out of Miami after 2 good years when they should have not been that good. So he had 2 years out, and he's suing them for offering to pay $100,000 to throw games. And then he had an interview with the New York Giants that Bill Belichick, he kind of spilled the beans that DeBall was already hired. So he's
Wrong
suing
Brian,
them.
Bill. Wrong Brian.
Yeah, I think that one was intentional oopsies on that one. But yeah, I just feel like the league really needed a story to combat these issues. Not to mention every story that comes out of Washington is terrible. They butchered the commander's name. They keep having these
Commandos
leaks.
would have probably been better, man, at this point. And now what Dan Snyder can audit himself and just be like, no, we're not going to release anything that's related to me.
Could you
Right.
imagine if
Right.
they were the Washington Commandos and the fan chant was "Let's go Commando"?
Oh man, yeah. So I felt like the NFL needed a good story, and the Jaguars had a chance to be a bright moment in this terrible 2 weeks until the Super Bowl.
Jacked it up. They jacked it all up.
Yeah,
Do you guys hear about what Goodell said today? His little memo to the NFL, how they need to do better.
Go
I
ahead.
did see that.
Just
Tell the fans.
Best
Tell the
corporate
fans.
line of all time.
we
need to do
we
better.
need to do better. The #1 PR stunt of all time.
Yeah. I think that is out of the box and not taking any responsibility for or any ownership of what's happening in your league. And Goodell is, as commissioner, he's loyal to the owners. So we all know how that's going to go. It's just unfortunate. And Brian Flores deserves better. And I think every black coach in this league deserves better, because not only do they play in the league and then end up coaching, they have to be at such a level higher than any other person to stay hired, to stay employed. Tomlin is the only black coach in the league right now, and a lot of fans want him out. He's never had a losing season in 15 years.
It's crazy. That's
absolutely insane.
And
that you could ask to fire a guy that has gone at least 8-8 every year.
Like, it's not.
There's no reason. There's no reason for that too. But you got to think of the market he's in with Pittsburgh and their expectations. But like you said, like they've been to the playoffs, or at least have not had a losing record every single season. It's not like it's lack of competing. That team is not great around it, and he still brought them to 8-8, dragging Ben Roethlisberger's dead body all over the field. So it's insane that like we're still talking about this now. And quick with the Flores, like following it as a Dolphins fan, like he was gone just because of the relationships. But now we're seeing, oh, we try to tank for Burrow or for whoever. It was Burrow because that was the Tua draft. And then there's talk about like him trying to get Brady in. He's like, I'm not going to tamper with all that. And then you wonder why the relationship soured. The owner asked too much that a head coach should never have to deal with, and he still succeeded on the field. 2 winning seasons where they probably should have made the playoffs. Maybe a game or two was miscoached. Maybe we dealt with a lot of injuries early too. So considering we went 1-7, turned it around to, what did we finish? 9-7. 9-8. Yeah. So he went 8-1 over the last 9 games down the stretch. He should have gotten another year, but the relationship had just soured. Not necessarily just for himself, with ownership too, and that's mostly ownership's fault. But we're going to come out of this coaching cycle, and we're not going to have more than one black head coach. Nobody else is going to get a shot. And there's still 3 openings, and it doesn't sound like any of those openings even have a shot at any of these candidates. Why is it, again, I understand why Byron Leftwich was going to go to the Jags, but how is nobody else calling him? We always kind of, like, our chat kind of jokes, and it's not really a joke. It's like the darkest humor of all time. Why isn't Bieniemy getting a call? They've made the championship game 4 years. This is 4 years in a row now, right? Because they made the Super Bowl back-to-back.
4 straight.
It's insane. Like, how are these guys not getting any shot? In a league that's 60% black. It doesn't make sense.
I will say this one rumor about Byron. He was turning down other opportunities because he wanted Jacksonville. But that's it. Everything you said was straight facts. Everything else is...
At the same time that Leftwich was pretty much solidified to us, the Saints had put out that they were going to interview him. Nothing else came of it. I will say today that the Saints announced that they're going to interview Bieniemy. They said that today. So at this point, that's the only interview he has, I believe, at this point in the process. The NFL, the tough part is you can't tell somebody who to hire. That's where it gets really sticky at. But at the same time, if what Flores is suing about, like the Denver situation, or the Giants situation, I guess, is the best example. If they had already had Brian Dable hired, and they were just bringing him in to satisfy the Rooney Rule, which they've been doing since the Rooney Rule has been instituted, like, they have to do something better, man.
Yeah.
And then I think the answer was to give teams draft picks for hiring minorities. That was a terrible optic there. I just don't know. At this point, man, it's like same stuff, different year. And if nobody hires a black coach in this cycle after all, especially this year with the hashtag end racism in the end zones and stuff like that, what credibility will the league have?
Scam
Remember, they're doing better, and they're promising to do better.
That's right.
What a joke. Yeah, so final word. I just want to say that the idea of having more minority owners is always talked about. But as a Jaguar fan, I see my minority owner doing the worst and hiring the worst. And he won't clean house and he won't take responsibility and ownership for his decisions. He never wants to be wrong. So I just think we need different mentalities in ownership. We need someone that actually is on the ground level listening to the fans and, maybe has a football mind. Maybe don't hire a guy that sold bumpers or pick him to be the owner of the Jaguars. He's not involved. I mean, his son is more involved than he is. We just need a different mentality. And that's all we're asking for. I think nationwide, that's what we're asking for. We want someone in a CEO position that understands how we feel. So let's move on.
We're going to get a chance to see because, just to keep it short, the Broncos are for sale. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, yeah. And we already know how that's going to go. Come on now. It's Broncos country. So, moving on to something better, fun. The Pro Bowl. So, as a kid, I always liked the Pro Bowl. I like the idea of all-star games. You get to see your favorite players play against each other. Quality went down for a bit, then they kind of picked it back up and reintroduced some events. They had like their own version of the slam dunk contest in one of these events. It was like best catch. And freaking Stephon Diggs went through a table like a true Buffalo native.
Goodness gracious, man. They're doing everything they can to keep the Pro Bowl alive.
I mean, but it clearly has some issues. First of all, move it back to Hawaii. The players that get picked there deserve to have a vacation where, the weather holds up and it's a good spot.
You don't think they want a vacation in Las Vegas this year?
Yeah, when it was 45 degrees and they all have hoodies on. Yeah, great time.
Yeah, I don't think they're going outside much after the festivities.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Pro Bowl was really good to have in that stadium. It was their big event out in Hawaii. It was like their one chance to see some NFL teams. I thought it was good for that
like a
whole thing.
COVID issue, though. Honestly, they'll probably move it back out there.
Well, it's been in Orlando for the last couple of years. I went to a couple of them, being an Orlando native here. But to be honest, I didn't even know they moved it to Vegas until a couple of days ago. I think it's a bigger issue with All-Star games in general. I kind of made the joke about the hockey one earlier. Baseball's like this. Nobody cares anymore. You can go on YouTube and see anybody's highlights. I don't need to wait like it's the 1940s to see all these superstars I've never seen before because the games aren't covered. I have access to every single player's highlight package at the palm of my hand. Why do I need to watch a game where they don't care either? And they want to go have fun in the city they're in.
Why are you hating on dodgeball?
All right, the dodgeball is pretty fun. You're right.
The dodgeball was probably the best thing they've come up with. I mean, I'll tune into the dodgeball match. All that other stuff. Like, I know Micah is not beating Tyreek Hill in a 40-yard dash.
The internet is loving it. The internet is loving it. He is the fastest man. No one can tell me otherwise. We saw the video.
Oh, my God. Shirtless Parsons running wild. Nah, I think that the quarterback skill challenge was okay. I think that's okay. But I feel like there's so many players skipping the Pro Bowl now. Like, it's not incentivized at all to go and be in the media for that week. And I think they made the bad choice of moving it between the championship week and the Super Bowl. I think leading up to the Super Bowl, let it be professional and all about those two teams, and then have the Pro Bowl afterwards with a lot of coverage on that, saying this is the final game of the season. This is it until the draft. Here are your favorite players throughout the year. Tom Brady skipped out on how many Pro Bowls?
That's what I was gonna say. Like, how many times has the Pro Bowl been just? I mean, we don't. It already has trouble anyway. Now you're gonna take out the players from what are supposed to be the two best teams, who probably have a lot of Pro Bowlers. Like, I guess we're not missing. I mean, yeah, I kind of want to see Jamar Chase. I want to see Burrow at this. Stafford hurling it. There's plenty of guys. You're telling me like there's nothing Aaron Donald and Von Miller can do either. Like, there's so many guys that should have been here from these two teams, and we don't even get to see them.
How do you have best catch without the NFL leading receiver?
Yeah.
Yes, that like I said, they're trying to do everything they can to make the Pro Bowl bigger than what it is. I feel like when it was in Hawaii, I felt like that was like the height of its popularity. And then I say the last decade, like the Pro Bowl just isn't what it used to be. Everybody's opting out of it. You know, guys don't want to get hurt, so they're not playing hard, which I definitely understand. You don't want to. It if NFL, it'd be a whole different conversation. But if the NFL contracts were better, I think we'd get better effort in the Pro Bowl. So if you get hurt, most of that money's not guaranteed. So guys aren't about to go to Las Vegas, Hawaii, Orlando, wherever it is, go out there and mess up the money, so to speak.
And to that point, they missed that boat on fixing their NFL contracts. They voted on a new deal, or it's kind of a revamp of the same deal, and you know, they're stuck for the next 9 years. So I think we're just playing out.
The owners definitely got richer from that deal.
Oh, absolutely, rich gets richer. But I think another thing that the NFL does well, for once, is Hall of Fame weekend leading up to the Super Bowl. So you announce on the Thursday before the Super Bowl. You have the award show on the Saturday before the Super Bowl. Everyone gets, this recognition before the big game starts, and I feel like they do it right. I just feel like the Pro Bowl kind of sits in a weird spot during all of that. If they could change the Pro Bowl maybe to involve college athletes, because they're already pro, they're already gone, they already have agents. Bring them in. Let them do the skills challenge. Let them see up and coming stars. If you know someone's going to get drafted, come on.
You're not going to hurt your brand getting embarrassed by a 21-year-old, though. Like, that's not going to happen.
Could you imagine, say who's projected to go number one this year? Kayvon Thibodeau, and I guess the guy from Michigan. They get hurt doing a Pro Bowls challenge.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my goodness, that would be the end of that. So
These guys are sitting out like BCS type bowl games, New Year's 6 games, and you're gonna tell me they're gonna come and play dodgeball in Orlando and Las Vegas with these guys?
It'd still be fun to see, but I agree with what you're saying, man, 100%.
If my star players sat out my bowl game and then went and participated in the Pro Bowl, I would be irate. You couldn't ever come back to this game.
Yeah. That's why I think the game itself, I don't think if people are scared to get hurt, don't play in it. Do the skills challenge. Do the media. Whatever. They have a Madden challenge tonight. Whatever.
But they do that, though. The ones that opt out still get the bonus if that was in their contract, too, for making the Pro Bowl. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. That's cool. But let the ones who want to play. But it's not going to be the same. There's too much understanding of how players get injured now, what it takes to come back, the no guaranteed money if you do get hurt. It doesn't make sense to play in a meaningless exhibition game that the people don't care about anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly. And all the other all-star games, hold weight. I know baseball, isn't it? Whoever wins the all-star game in baseball, they get home field advantage or something like that.
Yeah, they changed that.
Ever, but yes, it is.
Yeah, maybe you can do an incentive like that. But as it is now, I don't think you can really make the NFL game any better.
You win the Pro Bowl, you win the coin toss automatically in overtime. I think that's the way to fix overtime right there.
Oh my goodness, that would cause an uproar. Guys I don't even know determining whether I get the ball first in overtime.
Yeah, I just feel like it's a huge opportunity that's missed. At least do right by your players and coaches and send them to Hawaii if they're going to do that. So,
Agreed.
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like they go to Vegas anyway.
Yeah.
So might as well go somewhere that you don't frequent.
So, let's move on. The reason why we're here, the Super Bowl.
The Pro Bowl wasn't the big game. That's not what we were covering.
Oh
That's
man,
not
scratch your
fair.
notes.
Got it.
Scratch
I
your
thought
notes.
that's what this whole podcast was about. The podcast, the Pro Bowl podcast.
Pro Bowl podcast. TM,
So-
TM, just in case. NFL can buy it back from us. We'll do better.
Gotcha. So we have the Cincinnati Bengals going against the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are hosting the Super Bowl. This is back-to-back years that the home team is hosting the Super Bowl. It's outrageous. I thought it would never happen other than Madden. So
Yeah, it never happened. 54 years now, back to back.
Give me my
We've seen some
tinfoil hat.
crazy stuff in our lifetime. Home Super Bowls. We've seen a 16 beat a 1. Cubs won the World Series. There's some real stuff happening in our lifetime. Best sports lifetime ever.
yeah. So I feel like the Cincinnati Bengals have the hottest team in the NFL right now. I feel
Absolutely.
like they have just worked their way into being in this position, starting with drafting Jamar Chase. I mean, he has been a fireball for them. And that receiving core, Joe Mixon, Joe Burrow, Joe Burr, that defense is playing lights out also. Those safeties are scary, man. Those safeties, they shut down the Chiefs in the second half. But they're the hottest team. They have not been really stopped other than the first half against the Chiefs. Otherwise, they slowly go to their game plan. They run it. They chuck it. They get Jamar Chase one-on-one and boom, touchdown. They get T. Higgins in the middle of the field. Boom, first down. Boom, first down. Joe Mixon. Boom, Burrow's running. I think Bengals are great. And then we have on the other side the Los Angeles Rams, which they got the monkey off their back. They beat the 49ers in the championship. They didn't pull a 99 Jaguars and lose to the same team three times in a row in the same season. Hey, I'm sorry. I got to throw them out there. Okay. So they finally get to the point where they make it to the Super Bowl. This is why they traded away the draft picks. This is why they brought in the superstars. They have the team. They have the defense. They have the coach. It's finally all coming together. This feels like the Los Angeles Rams finally got it together and did what they needed to do. So we'll go through the bracket and their matchups and how they match up against each other. But I just feel those two teams, they took gambles and they both paid off. Jamar Chase wasn't supposed to be on this team. It was supposed to be Sewell. And I think they made a great decision because there's no stopping that man. So I'll let you guys go ahead and talk about their journeys to the Super Bowl. Will, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
Started off, Cincinnati went 2-14 last year. They draft Joe Burrow. Go to the Super Bowl in the second season. I really hope the Jags do something like that. I think they drafted somebody named Trevor Lawrence and went 3. Anyway. I think Cincinnati is the hot team. Joe Shiesty going into Kansas City, his first AFC Championship game, and beating those guys there. Especially after the first half, they had only scored 10 points in the first half and then came out in the second half. And the defense shut Mahomes down completely. They dropped 8 into coverage and kind of just let Mahomes run around and nobody was getting open. So the only thing I can see, I think Cincinnati has a great chance to win it. It's going to come down to can they block Aaron Donald, which I still don't know how they're going to be able to do that because the right side of that line is not very good. And then is Jalen Ramsey going to trail Jamal Chase the entire game? And if they do that, I mean, you got Higbee and who else is over there? Isn't the Boyd over there? Tyler Boyd, is that his name?
Yeah, Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins.
Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase.
Tyler Boyd and Higgins.
They lost their
CJ Uzoma, man.
I think he's out. I don't know if he's playing.
Yeah, he had the MCL sprain. I don't know if they ruled him out yet or not.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, but yeah.
So you might be able to sleep on CJ Uzoma, is what you're saying.
Just a little bit. Might be able to. But I don't know, man. I think I'm not going to count Joe Burrow out, man. He's having a great year. They're on fire. He's got on chains and press conferences and stuff like that. He's got all the juice behind him. Then you got the Rams. I mean, they traded for Matt Stafford, and they're in the Super Bowl. So Matt Stafford is Matt Stafford Tom Brady?
No.
I mean, he got to a new team and brought him to the Super Bowl at home.
I mean, no, because he doesn't have the history. But
I am 100% kidding. I hope you guys did not take this.
I know, but I see where you're going, and I think if Stafford was on, let's say, the Titans for the past few years, he might have been pretty good. He might have had some AFC Championship battles against Tom Brady. I don't know. Well, it's very clear that he came in his old age fighting through injury in this year and has been slinging it. And he makes some mistakes sometimes, but like it's clear as day he was such a good quarterback. And I'm just glad he's getting his chance. This is his one chance.
Absolutely. And like I said, they should be favored to win the game. They're the better team. Like definitely the better team.
Statistically, yes, I agree with that. They have been for the last 5 years. McVay's been trying to find the secret formula, getting all-stars in, trading around draft picks, people who have been tried and true in the league. Getting in Von Miller in early November, and then ironically, they went 0-3 or something. They lost the Titans, the Packers for sure, and then with the Niners as well. And then they come back, they abuse the Jaguars, which is the only reason was, of course, Jaguars win. But then they won when it mattered. And I don't know. I think the Rams, they've got it going on. My real question was if the Patriots, the Bucks had AB, do you think they would have been here right now? That's the real question.
Yeah, I feel like that game could have went either way, but that defense was pretty brutal in the first half for them. So I think even if they had AB, it would have been Ramsey shutting him down instead of him shutting down Mike Evans. So
yeah, but then you have Mike Evans. That's the problem.
Right.
That was a huge hit to them. For the Rams, though, I disagree with you. I don't think the monkey's off their back yet. Yeah, you want to beat that team you lost to twice, your division rival, the 49ers, but they were in the Super Bowl in 2018. That was McVay's, first shot, and now people have been writing them off. They haven't made it back. They didn't make playoffs. To the point now, it's like they need to win this game. I think McVay. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. Quick pause on the broadcast. Ben, you're cutting out.
I think I moved it in my. I think I'm good.
Okay.
Man, the Bengals got it going. Again, they like Will said, they've got the juice. Burrow buys his O-line, iced out Cassios just to get him by. They've been on a roller coaster this entire season. They come in and they sling. They put up 40+ points multiple times, and then on the next week they get obliterated. I think they're just happy to be here. There's not a lot going on in Ohio. So they're just happy to be here right now.
Cincinnati, they're probably playing the loosest out of any team that's ever played in the playoffs. They're there. They've won. They're in the Super Bowl. They're just going to let it loose.
Yeah.
They're definitely the David in this David versus Goliath battle.
Is 2 weeks off going to cool them off at all, though? I mean, like,
I think it might.
You said they're hot, but man, that's a long time. Especially these guys are young; they're so far ahead of schedule. Did anybody think they'd be here now? I mean, Jamar Chase couldn't catch footballs at the beginning of the year for himself, and now he's in the Super Bowl. Burrow's in his second year. You even left off too. You were talking about all the receivers. We left off Mixon. We haven't even talked about their offensive weapons are so insane, but that's a long time for them not to play when they are the hottest team in football. I don't know. That'll be tough for them to come back from.
I think if you look at it from a standpoint of let's follow Jamar Chase for the whole year. Well, not Jamar Chase. That's a weird situation because he sat out that last year in LSU. But a normal college student coming out straight into the combine, gets drafted, off-season stuff that they have to do, then preseason, then the season. You get one bye week, and then this is like maybe a good rest for some of those new guys, some of those younger guys. They've been grinding for a very long time. So maybe they can sit and think back of, how many times have the Bengals made the Super Bowl? This might be our only chance. This might be the only chance in my career. Not everyone gets to make the Super Bowl. So I think they're going to come out, they're going to be loose, but they also are going to know that they have a responsibility to the city to bring something home. And
see, I feel everything you just said, they're not thinking of that, and they're just running around playing football. And the minute those thoughts creep in, that's the danger zone. Stafford knows. He's been on terrible teams. What is he worried about? He's going to lose in the Super Bowl? What does he care? It doesn't matter. This is all he's playing with house money right now. And the Bengals, they're going to sit there thinking in their rooms for 2 weeks, man, what if I never come back? What if, I'm never able to do this again? You want to say a college kid that just came out, you're telling me McPherson's ready to go, and he's like, see, that's not going to get in his head?
Yeah.
He's won him some games, man.
Hey, McPherson, no, he's Joe Cool. He's McPhear nobody, all right?
Ooh,
okay.
No
all right.
McPhear, no time.
So
I think we need to pause for that for a minute. Hold on. That was good.
I think these guys know the situation, and I think they're confident in themselves and their ability to do whatever they need to do. I think that tightness lies with the Rams. They need it. They need to prove it. They need to cap it off. This is 4 or 5 years building, and they don't have draft picks next year. They've been near the cap limit for a while now. They got OBJ for free, basically. He just wants to win. It's time. You have the leading receiver. You have a good running game. You got your running back. After an Achilles tear, you got your running back back. Hello. They
still have 2 other ones who are good, too.
That man's got science from 20, God knows, 200 years advanced. We just don't know about it. The peasants.
Yeah, I have no idea how you come back from a torn Achilles in 5 months. That is insane.
It's crazy to me. It's crazy. So I think that those guys, they know they need to seal the deal right now. So it's going to be a little bit tight for them. I think knowing that you need to execute is a lot more pressure than you have the chance to execute. So we'll see just how that goes. And I think that the defenses are going to be the key part. I think the Cincinnati safeties are going to have to play sound, fundamental. They're probably going to play too high. I saw them move before the snap. They hid their coverage. It was cover 1, then it turned into cover 3, then it turned into cover 2, and then it went back to cover 1, and then they snapped the ball, and there's actually cover 2. They need to do a lot of that. Confuse Stafford, confuse the receivers, get them off. That defensive line needs to step up because I forgot his name, number 91 of Cincinnati. He is hit or miss.
Henderson,
Yeah, he's good.
He's having a hell of a year.
He's good, but he's hit or miss on the pass rush. He needs to get there. He needs to get home. He needs to, strip sacks. We need them. We need that interior D line push so Stafford doesn't have the chance to step into a healthy pocket. We need the linebackers to stay home, stay sound on those running plays. It's going to be intriguing to see how Cincinnati's defense reacts to the offense. But at the same time, like you said, Aaron Donald, who's going to stop him? This is the game of his life. Best defensive player I've ever seen in my life. I'll say it.
Aaron Donald might have MVP this game. I'm telling you, I don't know how Cincinnati is going to play.
Triple team him, and that means
they're going to have to double and triple team because the right side of that line is so bad. And then you have Von Miller on the other side.
Right,
exactly.
You have Von Miller waiting. He's like, oh, another chance. Oh, my boy. I pay my respects to my boy Demetrius Thomas. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna show up. This is it.
Burrow was sacked 9 times in the playoff game. 9 times and won. If he gets sacked 9 times in this game, he might not be able to get up.
The Rams are going to just terrorize him. I mean, it's done.
Yeah.
Not to skip ahead, but honestly, they're just going to blow him out.
Yeah,
it's going to have to be very quick passes because if he holds it any longer than 3 seconds, he's sacked.
Well,
the Super Bowl record was the Broncos. They got 7. How many of the Rams get? Over under 7.
Aaron Donald's going to have 4.5. So
I think y'all are. The Titans did a good job making him hold the ball and then sacking him. I think Joe Burrow is going to learn from that and throw the ball away a lot more. So I think 3 sacks maybe.
See, that's the thing. The Titans made him hold the ball. L.A. has Jalen Ramsey on the other side, and he's more than likely going to shadow Chase.
Right.
So if he's covering Chase,
100,
and then everybody else is getting covered, he's not going to have time to get to a second and third.
See, and that's where T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd comes into play because if you have Chase setting up one side of the field and the other 2 on the other side, you can set up bubble screens, you can set up high lows, you can set up drags, crossing routes with Jamar to clear out. You'll have the chance to get them open if you just give Joe Burrow 2 seconds. So,
well, I hope he has 2 seconds this game.
Aaron Donald's headhunting, man. I imagine Aaron Donald doesn't need the smelling salts and all that stuff. He just plays at 110% at all time. It's scary. Yeah. Like, I haven't seen someone that good since Reggie White. Since, shoot.
I say at that position, Warren Sapp.
Sapp, but Sapp took a couple of plays off.
Warren Sapp was an animal.
Yeah,
when he was.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, Darnold's felt some blood in the water, man. Like he's coming in hot.
Yeah. So, I think like most of the playoff games this year, it's going to come down to field goals. I think there's probably a high chance there's going to be a walk-off field goal in this game. I think Cincinnati has the edge on the kicker. I think they have a better special teams game. So we'll see how that goes. What do you guys think? What are your predictions for the game? Give me scores. Give me picks. What do you think? Who's going to be the MVP? Is there going to be a random person like Malcolm Smith from the Seattle to win the MVP? Like David Tyree, is there going to be one of those moments? What do you think?
I'm just surprised that we just did this whole deep dive and you're really going to tell me that the keys to the game is intangibles. That's what you're going to come down to and say all of us. But that's all right. Okay.
That is insane.
Right? Like, we just all talked about this. You're like, it's going to be the kicker for the intangibles. Is what's going to do it. All right. Good call. I disagree. I think I disagree with you on field goals, though. I think the Rams have this one. I got Rams 34, Bengals 21. I was going to say Stafford's probably the safe pick if that happens for MVP, but let's give it Cooper Kupp. Let's say 152 touchdowns. That probably gets him MVP, especially with the season he had where he just had such an insane year putting together 2,000. What are we up to? Almost 2,500 yards total now?
Yeah,
Rams.
he's having the best season ever. My prediction, I'm going Rams. I got the Rams. I don't think it's going to come down to a kicker, honestly. Like I said, Cincinnati's on fire, but like we said earlier, they are young. I got the Rams winning 35-17. Like I said, I just don't think that I don't think Cincinnati's going to be able to score on that defense. I don't think Burrow's going to have enough time to get the ball off. I'm going to say the dark horse MVP is going to be Aaron Donald. Like I said, I truly believe he's going to have at least 3 sacks in this game. And they're going to be back-breaking sacks, too. I just don't see it. Like, Burrow, he's on fire. He's, like you said, Joe Shiesty. But it ain't happening this year. I think they got a good team, to make a run. They're a playoff team now for sure. But I think the Rams finally get it this year. 35-17. I'm dug in on that score.
All right. Andrew?
I'm going Rams as well. Again, they've been trying to find that secret formula, trading in, bringing people in, sending them out. I think they've got it. If the Bengals, to your point, those safeties can't contain Cooper Kupp, it's over. It's done. He can do everything. And then on top of that, on the other side, the Rams D-line is just going to destroy Burrow. And Ramsey's our dude. He is our guy. He is the guy, and he's going to shut down anyone he's on. That's just, it's proven at this point. It's I would be shocked if anything were to come down to kicking. So score, didn't really think about it too much. I'm thinking something similar to Will. It's going to be 35, at least 35. Maybe they'll get 21 points if they're lucky.
Okay.
All right, you really going the Bengals?
Let me give you a little bit before I make my pick. Okay. I think that, like I said, the safeties need to play lights out to stop OBJ and Cooper Kupp. I think their linebackers and D-line need to work together to stop Akers and Henderson on offense. You get pressure, you stop Stafford. It's clear the 49ers did it. I mean, you're going to allow some touchdowns, so stay close. Have a game plan. Reset if you need to. I think on offense, I think that if you do the quick game, the Rams can't stop it. Jimmy Garoppolo cut him up with a hurt thumb and bad accuracy. I think Joe Burrow can. I think that it's proven that the Bengals are able to make halftime adjustments because they went in to a huge deficit against the Chiefs and shut down Tyreek and the rest of them and Mahomes at home in the second half. Imploded. Mahomes had a QBR of 0. Excuse me?
Yeah, still
So
insane. I didn't know that was possible.
QBR is a weird stat, but
The great Patrick Mahomes
oh man,
dropped to 0 in the second half.
and I think that the tendencies of the coaching is going to show. McVay, he sometimes is super aggressive and sometimes is super conservative. He could have ended the 49ers season back in week 18. And if he just went for a pass to Cooper Kupp or somebody on the last drive of regulation, 49ers would have been out the playoffs. And Cooper Kupp would probably have his title of best receiving year of all time. I think at sometimes he gets super aggressive where he goes for it on fourth down where he doesn't need to punt and play the field position game. I think that's where the Bengals will have the advantage. I think they're going to capitalize on those mistakes. They're going to win the field position game. I know y'all are going to clown me for it, but I do think it's McPherson making 50, 60-yard field goals will factor in.
You're a
Okay.
sicko.
I am. So
disgusting
I
behavior.
am taking the Bengals over the Rams 27-24. Give me that fourth quarter walk-off field goal. Okay.
And then you cut Madden off right after.
And you can't tell me any different. You can't tell
He's
me
at
any
least bumping
different.
it off a rookie at that point. That's what he's trying to do. I just want to thank you for picking Cincy there and saving us from the kiss of death, because that was really close to ruining our picks. So thanks a lot for at least giving us a shot here.
And look,
Somebody had to do it.
I'll post my bracket that we made in our group chat online so everyone can see. I only had one matchup wrong, and that was Green Bay throw Rogan versus the 49ers, okay? So I think I have some sense of what's happening, the chaos that's happening this playoff. So I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a good game regardless. It's not going to be a Patriots-Rams of 20, what was that,
I hope not.
2019?
2018, yeah.
2018?
Was
So
the game,
bad.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a baseball game.
Yeah, it was boring. I was in San Diego. I think we went out for food and just skipped to the second half. So I hope it's a good game. They need it. And the truth be told, the NFL needs a good story right now. And I think both of these teams have good stories. All these players are playing for something. And personally, I love Von Miller. And I would love to see him win the second ring, but I just couldn't pick with his team this time. So, one more thing about Joe Burrow. Since being hit and taunted against at UCF, that man has played at a different level. Look, that man is activated.
Lost the Sugar Bowl.
Aren't you a Gators
Into a
fan?
career.
It's insane. I've never seen a turnaround like that.
No.
Best quarterbacking year of all time, maybe the year after. Then you come out and you play well your first year until you get injured, and then you're going to the Super Bowl your second year. Excuse me?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Man.
this is also coming off by an ACL tear too, right? He tore his ACL last year.
Yeah.
Back in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Man.
Tore his
Yeah.
ACL and came back in like 7 months.
Yep.
He started week 1 of this year.
Oh.
Insane.
So we're gonna move on here. We made our picks. We're locked in. We're dug in. Hello.
Again.
We're in the
Okay.
trenches, boys. We're in the trenches.
You can't tell us any different. So we want to ask some questions, but I have a question for you guys. It's pretty interesting when I saw this. So there has been a trend in the NFL where teams go from 500 or worse to the Super Bowl in the next season. Okay? In 2015, it was the Panthers. 2016, it was the Falcons. 2017, it was the Eagles. 2019, it was the 49ers. 2020, it was the Bucks. 2021, it's the Bengals. So, who do you think can do it next year? What team? There are 14 teams that are under 500. What team do you think can do it next year? Make it all the way.
The Jacksonville
So-
Jaguars.
I'm so scared.
Oh,
Why are you guys laughing? Cincinnati
on.
just did it.
I agree. They just did it. We get another number 1 pick. Why not? Why not?
Cincinnati was 2-14. Yeah, it could
They
happen.
were 2-14. Burrow was hurt. And now they're in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence, 3-14. He hurt his pride. Urban Meyer hurt the franchise. We're injured.
Devastated the franchise.
Now we have a number 1 pick. We got cap space. We're going to sign Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin,
Oh boy. You got a lot
Yeah,
of
I
hope.
thought we were over these delusions already. But here
Oh,
we go
man.
again.
See,
No.
I had more than one drink.
That's it. Now he's dug in.
I'm dug in. I am dug in. The Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right. Well, look, I think that until we get a clear picture of what's happening in Houston, if Deshaun comes back
I beg your
and
pardon.
they draft well,
That man ain't coming.
and
I don't. It doesn't matter. He was back and they were 4-12 the year before. It doesn't matter.
He led the
I-
league in passing, and they were 4-12.
let
Yes.
me finish. Let me finish. All right.
Good.
Now imagine
Get to the Texans and changeables. Okay.
let
You
me
had
let
more
me
than one
finish.
drink too.
If Deshaun Watson is able to come back, not get suspended or anything, gets traded, and let's say he goes to Atlanta. Let's say he teams up with Kyle Pitts and Calvin Ridley's back, and the head coach is, or the offense coordinator or the defense coordinator is Flores. Maybe I don't know. It sounds good to me. Anything's
Where's
possible.
Matt Ryan going?
Retirement. No, I think you got to offload him to somewhere else. I think we've seen enough of Matt Ryan in Atlanta. He has choked away all of his chances, and he looked like pure.
He's a coach now. He's a coach.
Matty Ice is crushed ice right now, and I don't think
He'll
he's.
get it. I feel like Matt Ryan gets a shot like Matthew Stafford did, and we'll see. He probably still has a little bit left, but he's done in Atlanta. I don't see how even if they don't go in your fantasy scenario, that isn't going to happen with all those ifs of a guy that is being a pariah by the NFL and another guy who's suing the NFL and is pretty much blacklisted to going to this team. So, okay, but whatever. Yeah, Matt Ryan's probably done. They need a reset anyway, so.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think Matt Ryan's cap hit is worse than Tannehill's, I believe.
Wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, wouldn't
They
surprise me.
literally cannot get rid of him.
They're gonna
think they'll-
dig up some cause
They were,
to get rid of
they were
these guys.
They were locked in this year and this next season coming up. I think his cap hit was $41 million last year.
Eesh.
Yeah, so they can't get rid of him. And then
I mean-
Calvin Ridley has already said that he wants to play somewhere else, so he won't be there.
Yeah.
They do have an out this year, though, but it's $40 million in cap hit, dead cap.
Yeah.
But if they want out, because they have them until 2023, when do you pull the ripcord,
Yeah, and so I don't know. I just think whatever team gets Deshaun Watson, that has some okay players could probably push themselves into the playoffs. That's all I'm looking for. I'm not looking for to win it all. Maybe the team gets to the Super Bowl on a hot streak, just like the Bengals. Well, I don't know. We've seen Deshaun Watson single-handedly take over games.
And still go 4-12.
Yeah. He just needs. Hey, I've always said JJ Watt is overrated. I think that
That is just insane.
you
But
can't you can't.
That is a hot take right there.
Hey, Chandler Jones has a better career than he does. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I was waiting for you to
get
pull out
into
the
it.
next one where
I
JJ Watt's
won't get
best
into
ability
it.
would be availability. Is that what you want to say next? We're going to put up all the cliches in this one right now.
And that's all we have for the Dug In podcast. Let's cue the music, please. All right. There we go. Yeah. No.
We're going to lose all credibility because you say smart stuff like that.
It's craziness. It's crazy.
I don't know.
At least
me-
3 of us sound reasonable.
Look,
How many
man.
defensive player of the years does Chandler Jones have? I'll tell you how many. He has 3 less than J.J. Watt.
Hey, man. I don't deal with popularity contests. I deal with stats. Okay.
How many 20-plus sack seasons does Chandler Jones have?
I think
Data don't lie.
And based on your last comment, we'll tie it back into our Book of Boba Fett one. Only 60 on absolutes, my dude. You need to chill out over there.
Hey, look, that's a talk for another time. All right.
Yeah, sorry. We
But,
don't want to scare Will
all
off
right,
the edge,
Ben,
right?
what was your pick? What was your team that could go from under 500 to Super Bowl?
Man, the easiest answer right here is the Broncos. We got Devontae and Aaron Rodgers teaming up. They're going to both leave Green Bay. They're going to go to Denver. They're going to rock stuff. They're going to go with the Peyton Manning method. That's just for John East. I hope he's listening for this one too.
Don't give them any fuel. Broncos country is delirious, bro. You should have heard them last year. All hyped up for Teddy Bridgewater, Teddy Two Gloves. Oh, he's coming in. He's gonna change it. I was like, bro, these people are misled. They are sheep being led into the slaughter.
They do have enough pieces
how
around
that
Aaron Rodgers
reference goes.
to really do it, especially if Devontae comes too. But I mean, Jerry Judy's still young.
Tim
Courtland
Patrick.
Sutton's looked good. Yeah, Tim Patrick's still there. Like they're
No
all right.
Fant.
If they
And
get Aaron Rodgers,
Devontae Williams, yeah, and Melvin might be coming back. Yeah, they got.
Yeah, man.
if they get Aaron Rodgers, they're going to the playoffs.
Yeah,
That defense got better without Von Miller somehow. It doesn't make sense. Like they played better down the second half.
they're playing
They just
sound.
started off really slow. Yeah.
Is their D coordinator still there? Fangio's gone.
Fangio
So-
was a big reason for that defense being good. Fangio is a great defensive coach.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see next year. But questions. I know Andrew had a question that he wanted to raise. Why don't you go ahead, Andrew?
Hold on, Andrew didn't give us his team yet. Let's see if Andrew got one. In the coach.
He did.
I was too scared. I was too scared. I feel like I was going to jinx it with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh,
One,
no, that's
personal interest, you know.
Yeah,
Took care of
fair
that
enough.
for us.
Two, why not, man?
Why not us?
My
Okay.
question, putting on my tinfoil hat, is who does the NFL want to win Super Bowl? That's what I want to know.
We're gonna get hired as the script writers. We know they're hard at work. They got a whole week to get this in.
We got, so on one hand we have the dream team, right? We got everyone's coming in. Stafford, I'd never see it again. Why does he care? Like you said to your point earlier, he's a veteran. And then you've got Joe Burrow coming in hot, second year, hasn't been done. He's got, I mean, the social media has been posting, oh, back in his time, here's some guy lifting him up. They're going to react to what happened at LSU. Okay, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who does the NFL want to win?
I'll say this: I will say that they want the Bengals to win because the Rams' method of buying a team, basically, and not trading all their draft picks away, going full, let's pay players just to come here, take a pay cut. I think the NFL would not want every team to try to do that.
Yeah, you're right. Why would the NFL want to pay their players? Jeez.
Why would the NFL not want a team to trade picks, which is the most fun part of draft day? Yeah, they hate when teams trade picks and get some news going in the middle of the fourth round of an NFL draft. They hate that.
Stop. You're missing the point. I'm saying the deal that they have in place allows for someone like Trevor Lawrence. If he wants to get out of Jacksonville, he can't really get out for almost 7 years right now, because you can tag a player twice. You can sign him to the five-year rookie deal with a 5th-year
Talk
option.
about dug in. He's being held ransom at this point.
I mean,
I
but
think-
how does that?
I think
Doesn't that set up the whole Matthew Stafford of it all? Like, do your time, 11 years in Detroit. Everybody has to do that time. Suck it up. And look, then you can win on a good team in LA. Hey, guess what? We want LA to win because that's a market that has no fans in it, even though they
None.
have 2 teams.
And a $5.5 billion stadium. Holy
Look.
cow.
Look.
This is the Stafford story. I'm cranking up my typewriter here. I'll crack. There you go. I'm cracking it up.
Get
There
it
we go.
going.
I'm
Get it
getting my
going.
fingers ready. We got the Stafford story, so he can go out on top. And guess what this sets up to? This sets up the Bengals. Man, guess what? That Joey Burrow played so good, man. Now he has a chip on his shoulder. Wonder if he'll be back to get past Mahomes again. Telling me that's not the script we're seeing.
Got a
That's a
soundboard
30
for
for 30.
Ben.
You just said it. That's
Here goes-
perfect.
Here goes Ben.
Exactly what they've written up.
Typing away. Here goes Ben. Here we go.
Send me that Kermit gift.
Matt Stafford
No.
definitely cares. He's getting up there in age. He probably has a 2-year window to win this thing. But he's definitely trying to win it this year. And like I said, they probably will. They have the better team.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow has 15 years to get another one.
Yeah, but we've seen it so many times that they don't make it back.
Yep.
It is
Don't
hard to
make
get
it back.
It is very hard to get back. Joe
I
Burrow is looking like one of those guys that can get back.
look.
People are questioning Mahomes already, though, and he already won one.
Yeah,
I don't think labeling a dynasty and then just where do the other dynasties go? Over there.
I just
Ain't Tom.
think
Not Tom.
I just think that, yeah, viewership wise, fan wise, the NFL wants the Rams to win. But I think the way that they went to get this team is going to leave a sour mouth in some owners. So I don't know. I don't care. I want the Jags back in it. All right.
Right.
I just want one playoff game where we're in it.
Plays are called
I just-
properly.
I just want one playoff game. Can I have one of those?
Hey, you fired your coach that had winning seasons since 2003, so I don't know.
He didn't make the playoffs though, so gotta
He-
go. You only
he
had 2
didn't-
shots.
He didn't
Gotta
take
go.
that $100,000 to lose on purpose. So
Man, I would have loved Joe Burrow though. We probably would have been all right. I don't know.
Will, you got a question for the fans?
Question for the fans. Let's see. I've got a million questions. So I guess I have to narrow it down to one. I'll ask this for the Jags fans here that are currently in this chat. Who do the Jags draft at number 1 this season? Will it be
I'll go opposite and say a wide receiver from a Division III school.
what are you talking about?
Give me the Ohio State receiver. I need weapons. I'm sorry. I don't believe that we're going to get anybody in free agency. I just don't think Balky's going to do it. So give me top wide receiver. Give me top offensive lineman after that.
Man, the only thing Balky's going to do is try to keep his job. That's it. We're going to build a team around Balky. So it's whatever Balky wants. What do you think he wants? I mean, it better be a wide receiver.
We are not drafting the wide receiver number 1, guys. Let's go ahead and get that out the way now.
But you
The
see,
last wide receiver to be drafted number 1 overall is Keyshawn Johnson.
yeah,
And that was I couldn't even tell you when because I was probably in Mrs. Harris' class doing the coloring book. Wide receivers don't go number 1, guys. Let's get that out the way. My personal opinion, we need to draft Evan, the offensive tackle, number 1, or we need to trade back.
yeah, I think that's the sensible thing. Evan Neal or trade back and get some more value out of your picks because you have a lot of value you can trade down for, and Balky. If the VP from Minnesota, I forgot his name, Spielman.
Gilman.
If he comes into Jacksonville, he's got a record of trading down for more picks. So if they go that route, that's going to be a tell of what they're going to do.
I mean, you get a haul for it too. I mean, it's always best player or go ahead and trade back. I think the Jags' needs are more than one. Taking the picks definitely help. Get Trevor help in whatever way. If you want that receiver, trade back. There'll be one there, and guess what? Now you have a whole suite of picks to choose from, whether it's another first next year or several firsts this time around. Like, just trade back.
Yeah. Hopefully there's someone that the Eagles really want and they can trade us a couple of those first round picks to move up to 1. So
That's the thing that hurts us this year. There's no quarterback going to number one, so it's not going to be really too much demand for it unless somebody really wants Thibodeau or the guy from Michigan.
Yeah.
yeah. So Ben, I believe you have a question.
Yeah, guys, I have the most important question. You kind of alluded to this earlier. One of the most important prop bets you're going to see for the Super Bowl: heads or tails? What are we doing?
Oh man, tails never. Yeah, fail.
Tails.
Tails never fails.
Who's flipping the coin? Who,
Oh, I don't know.
yeah, who?
Question.
Tell
Right.
me who's
They always
flipping
get some scrub to come out there and throw
Right.
it up in the air. It barely even flicks, just floats.
While he finds that out, here's some fan comments going through the chat here. Roger should stay in Green Bay, just saying. Maybe it's just a vacation home in Tennessee. Maybe Joe Rogan will start his own football team and Rodgers will head that team. You know, we too many Bryans, honestly. Oof. Oh, get them out. Okay. Instituting a rule to interview people of color is not enough when the league is embedded with racism. Oh, hunt it. Facts. All right.
Coming in hot.
Let's see. There's a lot of head injuries in the NFL. They're bad at planning. Maybe that correlates. Here we go. The team, the Jags. I think this is referencing the Jags. That last comment was referencing the Pro Bowl and their planning with the Pro Bowl. This is referencing the Jags. The team will never win until they hire a black coach. This is politics and racism, just keeping it real. The Jaguars players are 70% black. Hello. I mean, never had
NFL, the NFL is 70% black.
Yeah.
70% black NFL players, and you have one black head coach.
Yep.
Clowns.
7 NFL teams have never had a black head coach.
Yep. And Jaguars only had an interim. That's why. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We count as part of that 7.
Yeah. So, and the last comment I see is tails. All right.
Yeah. So I couldn't see who did it, but obviously the betting line's pretty on the nose. 103 both ways, but tails is won 29 times, 53%. So it feels pretty good.
You know, I think there's something with that coin on the head side. They make that stupid Super Bowl logo a little bit heavier. So, you know, once we get a Joe Namath flip in the air, it kind of just dies in the air and then, you know, falls on tails. I pick tails. I'll go with tails. Yeah. So, thank you guys for tuning in to the first stream of the Dug In podcast. Regardless of the facts, we're all dug in. Okay? That won't change.
Dug in.
We appreciate you guys. Please like the video, comment, or subscribe. Please subscribe. Turn on that notifications bell so you can get notified when we go live. Our next show's coming up. We have Wednesday night. We will have the season finale of Boba Fett. Shut up, Will. We will have the season finale review. Me and Ben will be on that, and then coming up in the next few weeks, we will have some TV series reviews. We're talking Righteous Gemstones, Euphoria, Reacher, and a lot more stuff. So
What a
stay tuned.
Full recap.
Yeah. We might have to do some recaps and go over the whole season at one time because a lot of people like to binge instead of go week to week. So, yeah, we'll have some segments on that. We'll keep the videos a little bit shorter on those. And we just appreciate all of you for tuning in. Thank you again. Please like and subscribe. See you next time.
Follow us at at the Dug In Pod. At
Yes.
Dug In Pod.
Please follow us
Twitter
at
and Instagram.
Dug In Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night, Dug In.